Have you heard the news? The South African Social Security Agency has just announced an additional R1,100 relief payment for seniors this May 2025. This is not a drill, my friends. While millions of South Africans are struggling with the rising cost of living, SASSA has stepped in with urgent financial support that could make all the difference for our elderly citizens. But here's the critical part: seniors must act fast or risk missing out completely. Are you or your loved ones among the millions of grant recipients wondering how to secure this extra payment? When exactly will these payments be disbursed? And what documentation do you need to ensure you don't miss out? Stay with me for the next few minutes as I break down everything you need to know about the May 2025 SASSA grant schedule and this unexpected financial boost. Before we dive into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss crucial updates about SASSA grants and other financial support programs for South Africans. The news many pensioners have been waiting for has finally arrived. The South African Social Security Agency has announced an additional relief payment of R1,100 for senior citizens, acknowledging the tremendous pressure our elderly population faces due to the ongoing economic challenges. This supplementary payment comes at a crucial time when many households are stretching every rand to cover basic necessities. The announcement came directly from the Minister of Social Development yesterday, who emphasized that this relief package is specifically designed to help our senior citizens cope with the recent increases in food prices, healthcare costs, and essential services. Our elderly have given so much to build this nation, the minister stated. It is our responsibility to ensure they live with dignity, especially during these challenging economic times. Let's be clear about who qualifies for this extra payment. The R1,100 relief is targeted specifically at recipients of the Older Persons Grant, commonly known as the Old Age Pension. If you're currently receiving this grant and are over the age of 60, you should be eligible for this additional payment. However, and this is important, SASSA has indicated that recipients must verify their details are up to date in the system to ensure they receive the supplementary amount. Now, let's talk about the May 2025 payment schedule. SASSA typically follows a structured disbursement calendar to manage the distribution of various grants effectively. For May 2025, the payment schedule begins with older persons grants on the 3rd and 4th of May. Disability grants will follow on the 5th of May, with children's grants scheduled for the 6th and 7th. All other grants will be processed from the 8th onwards. This schedule helps prevent overcrowding at payment points and ensures a smoother process for everyone involved. What makes this May different is that the extra R1,100 relief payment will be disbursed alongside the regular old age pension. This means senior recipients will receive their standard grant amount plus the additional R1,100 in one transaction. For those receiving the maximum grant amount, this represents a significant boost to their monthly income, potentially allowing for better coverage of essential needs. You might be wondering why this relief payment has been announced now. According to SASSA officials, the decision comes after careful assessment of economic indicators and recognition of the particular vulnerability of senior citizens during this period, with inflation affecting basic food items and medication costs rising. Many elderly South Africans have been forced to make impossible choices between healthcare, nutrition, and other essentials. The verification process SASSA is requiring is straightforward but time-sensitive. Seniors need to ensure their contact details and banking information are current in the SASSA system. This can be done by visiting your nearest SASSA office or using the SASSA online portal if you have internet access. If you're helping an elderly relative or neighbor, please assist them with this verification process as soon as possible. The deadline for verification is April 30th, which doesn't leave much time considering the announcement was just made. For those who prefer to receive their grants through cash payments at designated points, SASSA has assured that the additional R1,100 will be available along with the regular grant amount on the scheduled day. However, they strongly encourage recipients to consider direct bank deposits as the most secure and convenient method of receiving payments. What documentation should you bring if you need to update your details? You'll need your South African ID, proof of residence not older than 3 months, and your bank details if you want to switch to direct deposits. If you're acting on behalf of a senior citizen, you'll also need a letter of authorization and your own identification documents. I want to address a concern that many have expressed in comments on previous videos. What about other grant recipients who are also struggling? While this particular relief payment is focused on seniors, SASSA has indicated that they are continually reviewing the needs of all grant recipients. The focus on seniors for this immediate relief stems from research indicating they have been disproportionately affected by recent economic pressures, particularly healthcare costs. It's worth noting that this additional payment is separate from the annual grant increases that were announced in the February budget speech. Those increases will take effect as scheduled, and this R1-100 represents an emergency relief measure above and beyond those planned adjustments. This demonstrates the government's recognition that planned increases may not be sufficient given current economic realities. Some of you might be concerned about the potential for scams whenever additional payments are announced. This is a valid concern, as unfortunately, fraudsters often target vulnerable grant recipients with false information. Remember that SASSA will never ask you to pay money to receive a grant or additional payment. All official communications will come through established SASSA channels, including their website, official social media accounts, and SASSA offices. Be wary of any calls or messages asking for personal banking details or payment to release your grant. For those wondering about the application process for this relief payment, I have good news. There is no separate application required if you're already receiving the older person's grant. The additional R1-100 will be automatically added to your regular payment, provided your details are up to date in the system. This is why verification is so important. Without current contact and banking information, SASSA cannot guarantee timely payment. Community support is crucial during this time. If you know elderly neighbors or family members who might not be aware of this announcement, please share this information with them. Many seniors have limited access to internet resources or may not follow news updates regularly. Your assistance could make the difference between someone receiving or missing this vital financial support. Looking at the broader context, this relief payment comes amid ongoing discussions about social security reform in South Africa. The government has been exploring various approaches to strengthen the social safety net, particularly for vulnerable populations like the elderly, children, and those with disabilities. This one-time payment might be a precursor to more sustainable solutions being developed for implementation in the coming years. Transportation to and from SASSA offices can be challenging for many seniors, especially those with mobility issues or those living in rural areas. Several community organizations are stepping up to provide assistance with transportation. Check with local community centers, religious organizations, or senior citizen groups in your area to see if such services are available. Additionally, some SASSA offices have implemented mobile services that visit communities, making it easier for those who cannot travel easily. The impact of this additional payment cannot be overstated. For many seniors living on a fixed income, R1-100 can cover a month's worth of essential medications, several weeks of nutritious food, or help with utility bills. It provides breathing room in budgets that have been stretched to breaking point by economic pressures beyond their control. What steps should you take right now if you're a senior citizen receiving the older person's grant? First, check that SASSA has your current contact information and banking details. Second, mark the payment date on your calendar according to the May schedule I mentioned earlier. Third, prepare to visit your payment point or check your bank account on the appropriate day. And finally, be vigilant against potential scams that might emerge targeting this additional payment. For family members supporting elderly relatives, this is an excellent time to have conversations about financial planning. While this relief payment provides temporary assistance, ongoing budget management remains important. Consider sitting down with your elderly family members to review their monthly expenses and identify areas where additional support might be needed beyond what grants provide. As we approach the end of this video, I want to emphasize again the urgency of action. The window for verification is short, ending on April 30th. Missing this deadline could result in delays in receiving the additional R1-100 relief payment. SASSA offices are likely to experience high volumes of visitors in the coming weeks, so early action is advisable to avoid long queues and potential frustration. In closing, this announcement represents a significant acknowledgement of the challenges facing South Africa's senior citizens. While no single payment can resolve all financial difficulties, This additional R1-100 provides meaningful support at a critical time. Remember to share this information with those who need it most, and assist where you can with the verification process. Thank you for watching this important update. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more timely updates on SASSA grants and other financial support programs for South Africans. Drop your questions in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to address them in upcoming videos. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.